welcome to Between the Lines, the show where I give you my opinion of sports books available in South Africa but also around the world. Today's book is an example of that. If you'd like to respond to anything that I've said in the past or indeed today, then we'd love to hear from you. And if you've got a book that you'd like us to review, please do get in touch. There is the email address. It is sportbetweenthelines@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe and like us and tell your friends. Right, let's start with today's book then. It is States of Play: How Sportswashing Took Over Football, written by Miguel Delaney, published in the UK by Orion, distributed in South Africa by Jonathan Ball. In the shops and online now, you should expect to pay 440 Rand. If you don't know what sports washing means, let me try and encapsulate it. It's when a nation or state buys a sports club in order to improve its PR. To be more specific, Arab states made rich by their oil resources hope that winning a few trophies will make the world less interested in the human rights abuses of the same states. Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates in general, and Qatar in particular are what this book concentrates on. But there was a moment that the world of British soccer changed, and that was nothing to do with the Middle East. Instead, it was the day in 2003 when Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich bought Chelsea. Now, when the USSR broke up, Abramovich was catapulted to unimaginable wealth due to his proximity to Vladimir Putin. 20 years later, he was forced to sell the club by the UK government as retribution for Russia's invasion of Ukraine. But in the 2 decades that Abramovich owned Chelsea, his idea was adopted by the Arab states, and football as we know it was changed irrevocably. In 2008, Sheikh Mansour's Abu Dhabi United Group bought Manchester City. In no time at all, a team known for a century as Manchester's other club started winning everything in sight. They didn't manage that through any innovative tactical strategies. They did it by spending vast amounts of money to buy the best players in the world. The central theme of States of Play rests right there, because by paying ridiculous transfer fees and salaries, Manchester City drove up the general price for soccer players to a level that only a very few clubs could afford. England's famous pyramid system, leagues with promotion and relegation, was founded on the principle that anyone who keeps winning can move to the top of the pyramid. Sports washing has effectively done away with that, because no club can compete at the elite level today unless it has access to extraordinary amounts of money. It didn't take long for the concept to move abroad, and States of Play details how clubs like Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain and AC Milan adopted the methods of Chelsea and Manchester City. The author points to Leicester City winning the English Premier League in 2016 as the de facto end of normal soccer. Everything after that is necessarily informed by the oceans of cash that derive from sports washing. Soccer is, of course, the people's game, the world's favourite sport, and accordingly, it seems to me that the most important chapter in this book is the one called Football Without Fans is Nothing. This is where Miguel Delaney seeks out the thoughts of the average fan and confronts the core arguments for and against sport washing. You won't be surprised to know that the principal argument for having a sheikh or an oligarch as the owner of your club is because money brings success. A plethora of supporters care absolutely nothing for human rights abuses. All they care about is winning. Manchester City won the old First Division title just twice in 120 years. In the last 13 years, they've won what's now called the Premiership 7 times more, including 6 titles in 7 years from 2017. Needless to say, a vast number of fans are having the time of their lives. A friend of mine has supported City since he was 7 in 1967, which happened to be the year they won the league title for the 2nd time in their history. He had to put up with constant ribbing for 40 years thereafter, so since City started winning all the time, it was going to take a very, very large cloth to wipe the smile off his face. The other side of the coin might be encapsulated by the murder of Jamal Khashoggi at the Saudi embassy in Istanbul in 2018. At the behest of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman Khashoggi was done away with for daring to write about human rights abuses prevalent in his own country. South Africans won't need reminding of the slogan, "No normal sport in an abnormal society," and States of Play tells a sorry tale of governments and the organising bodies of soccer that just look the other way. Three people in particular haunt the pages of this book for their complicity: Sepp Blatter and Gianni Infantino of FIFA and Alexander Ceferin of UEFA. Now, Blatter was the architect of sending the World Cup to Qatar in 2022, and Ceferin tasked with enforcing the financial fair play regulations that were introduced in 2009 to try and stop wild spending, effectively did the opposite. States of Play points out over and over again that both FIFA and UEFA have drifted far from their function as organising bodies and are now explicitly political in nature. So let's go about rating the book. First of all, let me say that Delaney is the chief football writer of The Independent in the UK, and he is not a fraud. He writes well and exhaustively, and as a good journalist, he lists his sources and thanks the legion of insiders and outsiders who helped him put the text together. At 450 deeply serious pages, States of Play is not a casual or light read, and I suspect because of the polarisation of the narrative, it's hardly likely to sell well among fans of Chelsea, Manchester City, Newcastle and the rest. It's an important book because it shines a light into some dark spaces and bangs the drum for allowing supporters to run clubs rather than PR apologists and business people looking to make a quick, unregulated buck. However, for as much as I admire it, I don't particularly enjoy reading it, and as a result of that, I can only give it 5 out of 10. I hope it sells well, but I doubt it in a world hardly packed with soccer fans seeking enlightenment. That's it for this time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time.